This is Goku-san, DBZ, and today is starting, even though technically I guess I'm filming on May 31st, not June. Oh well, I'm starting sci-fi theme month. Anyways, and originally I was going to do for sci-fi theme month first vlog, I was going to do top 12 best sci-fi movies, but I'm kind of in the mood to bash a few things, so we'll save the best sci-fi movies for next Sunday. And for today, we're going to do the top 12 worst sci-fi movies. There'll be a couple of things to contribute. One, responses and opinions from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, as well as taking into account also critic opinions on Rotten Tomatoes as well as viewers on Rotten Tomatoes, both. And on top, my opinion will only make up just one vote on things. It's not my personal, because there's a few movies on each of these lists that if it was up to me, my personal list wouldn't be on best or worst, but that's why I went with the overall picture. A more neutral standpoint, not like Watch Mojo, which is known for being biased. So anyways, why 12? Because I like to go 2 steps farther. And here it is, top 12, top 12 worst sci-fi movies. Now, it's not of all time, because in the future I might do another top 12. We shall see. Coming in at number 12, Jurassic Park 3. Which is known for being probably the most hated of the Jurassic Park franchise, to be honest. Jurassic Park 1 was very beloved. Jurassic Park 3, not so much, to say the least. Now, number 11. Number 11. The Time Machine. The 2002 Time Machine. Keep in mind, the remake. The original is a true classic, but the remake, not quite so much, to say the least. Not a very well liked to proceed. I mean, the movie did like $150 million, so it did halfway decent. The box office wasn't a huge bomb, but just because it makes money doesn't necessarily mean it's always the best. Case in point, the Transformer movies. Coming in at number 10, Lost in Space, which was originally a beloved early sci-fi TV series, but let's just say the Lost in Space movie, not quite so much. I mean, it had some good casting in it. We had, of course, the one who played Joey in Friends, which is pretty well known at that time, and of course we have other good actors as well. But unfortunately, their talents were somewhat wasted in this movie. I personally consider it a guilty pleasure movie for myself, but I understand where people are coming from and why it is a hated movie. I can understand the stances of a lot of critics and other people, but that's how it goes sometimes. Coming in at number 9, Jumper. Which, I personally can't give any viewpoints or anything of this movie, because personally I have never seen Jumper. So, I don't know anything about the movie. I know of some of the cast in the movie, and I've heard definitely a lot of very negative points of view, especially if you look at critics and watchers alike on Rotten Tomatoes, for instance, and opinions on YouTube and Facebook are not very positive for that movie. Coming in at number 8, Alien vs. Predator. which were somewhat beloved franchises on their own, except maybe Alien Resurrection. But Alien vs. Predator, of course, coming off the heels of the somewhat successful and reasonably liked Freddy vs. Jason. But Freddy vs. Jason wasn't the greatest, but to be fair, it wasn't that bad compared to the remakes, individual movies. Now, however, this movie, let's be honest, was a piece of, excuse my language, but it was a piece of shit. Could not stand this movie one little bit. Personally, and most people I've talked to that have seen it agree, the standalone movies were 100 times better than this piece of crap. I mean, yes, the movie did like $140 million or so. So, technically, by standards in like the early millennium, that would be considered reasonable. That'd be like a movie making like $250 million now. But my point is, as I said before, just because it makes money doesn't make it always good. Look at music artists like, what's his name? Oh yeah, the douchebag called Bieber. Anywho, back to the list. Coming in at number 7. One of the worst movies starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Sixth Day, which was bad, okay? The Sixth Day is probably one of the, I would say, of all the movies I've seen with Arnold, I consider it one of probably his top 3 worst movies that I've seen anyways. Along with also a little comedy called Jingle All the Way, which of course starred the future very much hated child actor who would play Anakin Skywalker in The Phantom Menace. So, yeah, The Sixth Day was not the best. I mean, it had an interesting premise, but it was executed very poorly, and overall ended up just a piece of crap sci-fi movie. Another standard crappy sci-fi movie, sadly, when it could have actually turned out good. It's bad to see sometimes when potential is wasted. Coming in at number 6, Starship Troopers 2. Now, the first Starship Troopers is reasonably well liked. Starship Troopers 2, bad. Starship Troopers 3, I personally can't say since I've never seen the third movie, which I think is ridiculous. Starship Troopers 2, I consider bad enough to where there should never been another sequel. Shouldn't have been a trilogy. First Starship Troopers wasn't the greatest movie, but it was certainly a lot better than this piece of crap movie. I'm sorry, but Starship Troopers 2 was just bad, okay? Coming in at number 5, Battle of Los Angeles, which is another really crappy movie alongside the movie, of course, that had Rihanna, Battleship, based off the, of course, board game. Battle of Los Angeles had halfway decent special effects, but let's be honest, special effects aren't everything. Acting and storytelling, I consider much more important than the special effects, even if special effects are very important to sci-fi movies. Story arcs are even more important to a good science fiction movie. Just ask some true classics from Spielberg. I mean, he's had some crap movies, and he's done some real masterpieces. Anyways, here is number 4, and I don't think a lot of people are going to disagree with this movie being this high up. And being the only one of the Terminator movie franchise that did not star Arnold Schwarzenegger, because he was the governor at that time. So we had another very well established, very well respected actor called none other than, of course, Christian Bale. Coming off of doing great movies like the Nolan Batman trilogy and other great movies such as that. However, Terminator Salvation was perhaps the death knell in the coffin to the franchise until hopefully this upcoming in a few months from now, in about a little over a month from now, of course, Terminator Genesis, which I'm hoping kind of reboots and restores faith back into the Terminator franchise, because I very much love the franchise. But Salvation has no salvation. I'm sorry, but Terminator Salvation was just dreadful. It was just awful. There is no redeeming qualities about the movie. Period. Coming in at number 3, Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. Which, if you want a good reason why Star Trek V was so bad compared to the other original Star Trek movies, pretty simple. A not the best actor, which of course played Captain Kirk, even if some people like him, I don't. I think he's a crappy actor. He could never hold a candle to the late, great Leonard Nimoy. Which, Spock, Leonard Nimoy, was the only redeeming thing about the old movies and about the original Star Trek TV series. I'm sorry, but I wasn't a big fan of the original Star Trek series. Never have been, never will be. I could not stand Kirk. His stupid pausing in the mid-sentence is so annoying as crap. Period. And Leonard Nimoy was the only redeeming fact for the early franchise. That's just how I feel. Number 2 is perhaps the worst M. Night Shyamalan movie done yet. Yeah, and that's really saying something for the dear M. Night Shyamalan. And that would, of course, be the crappy movie, which I really feel sorry for Will Smith that he had to be a part of that movie with his very bad, very dreadful acting son, Jaden Smith. The only reason why he gets to be in movies or anything at all is just because he is the son of Will Smith. Period. That's it. Jaden can't act worth the crap. And it's sad to see what M. Night Shyamalan has become a joke in cinematics. He used to be such a great movie director when he did Unbreakable. He did Signs. He did The Greatness That Is The Sixth Sense. And then he did crappy movies like The Last Airbender, The Happening, what was it, Lady in the Water, or something like that. Plus he has to make himself appear in cameos in most of his movies. Oh yeah, and let's not forget the disappointment called The Village. Anyways, here's some dishonorable mentions. Rollerball. Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. Star Wars, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Men in Black 2. And there is too many other bad sci-fi movies to name. And here's number 1, is a tie. Normally I don't do ties, but it's kind of hard to debate which is the worst sci-fi movie between these two. It doesn't have to be predominantly sci-fi, but it has to be a main theme in the movie. And here's the two movies tied for being the worst piece of crap sci-fi movie ever. Highlander 2 and Battlefield Earth, The Death, for years to the career of John Travolta. I'm sorry, but yeah, those are the two biggest pieces of crap sci-fi movies ever done. Highlander 2 is a poor excuse after the greatness of the first Highlander, and Battlefield Earth didn't know what it wanted to be. It was just bad, dreadful. that's all I know how to say. It is just annoying as crap. I agree with other movie critics here on YouTube, in particular one of my personal favorite critics, the Nostalgia Critic, which, by the way, I completely agree with his opinion on Battlefield Earth, 100%. He actually makes plenty of sense in his viewpoints on things. He makes good debates on things. But I'll cut up this vlog. This is perhaps my longest vlog ever. Just hit over 15 minutes long. Yeah, I'm sorry for being so long. But I just was in the happy-go-lucky mood to do like top best sci-fi movies today. I just felt like bashing some movies. So I want to do the top 12 worst sci-fi movies this Sunday. And then next Sunday I'll do the best. I'm also going to be working on top best sci-fi themed video games and top 12 best sci-fi shows. And this will be the last best sci-fi shows. This will be a completely neutral one. This will not be a personal like past vlog I've had on it, which was top 10 best and top 10 best sci-fi / supernatural themed shows. This will be top 12 best sci-fi shows and will be the last one. So I hope you enjoyed that. That will probably be 2 Sundays from now, and then 3 Sundays from now. And I'm thinking about doing a couple of sci-fi movie reviews in the next week or 2. So, as always, this is Goku-san DBZ. Peace out. Hopefully someday we do. And I'll see you all next time here on YouTube land.